Ha ha! Whoa! Is it 7 seconds yet? I can't tell. It doesn't matter. Good morning. Hello. It is the year 2019 for context. I'm gonna share a story. It needs recorded. Needs cemented into the permanent record of the interwebs. The interwebs. Sorry, that's a Cumberbatch gif on my computer. Yeah, I say GIF. I don't care. I'm not a peanut butter lover. I mean, I use peanut butter every now and then, but if I say GIF, I just think I'm shilling for the peanut butter company, even though that's probably the brand I would buy. All right, moving forward, I'm going to talk about Betrayal 2018. Listen, guys. Listen, this is a story. It's really disturbing. Take the context. I was a counselor. Well, what's that? It's a person that helps people through their issues and helps restore some sense of stability in daily life, thought, and emotion, so on and so on. It's a person that helps somebody cope with the difficult realities of life. That's what a counselor does. And I was a counselor to middle school students. Do you know who's the most tortured souls on the planet? I mean, besides lots of other people. But okay, fine, whatever. Middle school students have it pretty bad. If you know much about middle school students, you know it's rough. They're very harsh towards each other, judgmental. And there's a lot of suicide, unfortunately, in middle and high school. It has been rising in recent years. It's very sad, very sad. Adult concepts and issues are being drugged down to the younger years, inappropriately communicated, and there's a lot of indoctrination that leads to a lot of confusion in the most tumultuous time of life. Transition through puberty. It's horrible. So I was a counselor to around 78 students, individually and in group settings. I appreciated my opportunity to work with those students. It was a fantastic thing. Service I was providing was excellent. I was appreciated by the staff and faculty of the school in which I worked. I was provided a little room, little classroom, not even special ed size. It was more office size. It was an office, basically. Enough room for about 15 kids max. Max. Pretty small. Pretty small. Sitting in a little circle. It's all good. It's all good. I had a good time. Learned a lot. I imparted a lot of wisdom and aid to students in crisis. The company I worked for, I was identified as an independent contractor. If you already know what that means, you might already be going, ooh, yeah, ugh. But that's what I was, according to the operations and structure of the company. Well, guys, there was a certain pay structure involved in what I was doing. It's going to bring in substantial income. It substantiated what I needed, so on and so on. It was nice. It was a good income. It was fair. It wasn't exorbitant. In fact, as the counselor, we were getting about 35 to 40%. The students, let me paint a little more context. The students and their families paid $0. Not even co-pays. The school, $0. Not even co-pays. Well, that wouldn't exist anyway, but you get what I'm saying. No out of dollar cost for the student, for the family, for the school, for the district, for the county, for the state. Well, gosh, how was I paid then? Through something called Medicaid sponsorship. Well, gosh, I've never heard of such a thing. That's interesting. Yes, it is. It's very interesting. Well, was it legitimate? I mean, are you trying to say it was? No, yes, absolutely. Legitimate. It's a good thing. Still exists. It hadn't gone anywhere. Well, gosh, what happened then? Aha! I'll get to it. Well, guys, we were given a certain operating procedures in how to perform our duties as counselors, how to document our records, and all that good stuff. We followed it to the T. When I say we, I was the only counselor in my school, but we were spread out all over Florida. Well, how many of you were there? There was about 130, 150. Well, that's a lot of counselors. It's a lot of schools. And all kinds of counties, huh? Yes. All over Florida. All over. I felt like I heard about this in the news. Yes, you did. So what's the name of it? I can't. I won't. It doesn't matter. It's not even relevant. It's not. It's not relevant. But what is relevant is the story. What that kind of story does to a person's life. It's not happy. All right. So I was a counselor. I expected a certain level of income. That level of income was only 40% of what was actually being paid. I just love people that love following too closely. And sometimes it's police. I think they're really special. That was not. That was a Raiders fan. I don't even know or care. Anyway, I'll get to the point. Promise. Guys. Alright. So, I was expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of $65,000 for the year of 2018. It's kind of a lot for an unlicensed counselor. That's pretty much unheard of. However, the way that the pay structure worked, it was feasible. It was feasible. A little more could have happened, but I was trying to be conservative in my estimates. So, from January until the end of May, so the entire second half of the school year, guys, I got strung along. What do you mean you got strung along? What does that even mean? How do you get strung along? Well, you work, you expect a paycheck, you don't get that paycheck, and they say, well, the reason you didn't get the paycheck is because there's these missing signatures. You go, oh, well, no, I've got them all right here. Oh, no, but they need to be signed in this way and on this other sheet as well. Oh, that's really weird. We were never told that. But yeah, let me knock that out. You do that. Turn it back in. They say, yeah, that's fantastic. But it also needed to be signed over here. And in fact, it needed a second signature of the child. It's called assent to treatment, not consent to treatment. And we need both consent and assent to treatment. Okay, that doesn't seem very logical, but that's just how bureaucracy is, I guess. We'll go ahead and do that. And I do that. So does everybody else. All tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of us. It wasn't hundreds, obviously. I said it was like 150 max. It's a lot of people, though. All right, so we do it. Do our part. Nothing. Keep in mind, this is taking 2 weeks to get 70 plus signatures. I live in the lowest income, the lowest socioeconomic county in Florida, okay? And I was at the worst county, and I was in the worst rated school in that county. I was very blessed with opportunity. It was a great experience. Excellent school. Excellent school. The grading system, I'm highly skeptical of at this point. I think it's a big sham. Granted, there were lots of 7th and 8th graders that didn't know how to read, but that had nothing to do with the middle school. That wasn't their fault. Which should have been, the blame should definitely be held by the elementary schools. But anyway, moving on. Weeks at a time, getting the signatures. And then how long did it take to get an answer? Well, we've got a meeting with the state, we've got a meeting with Medicaid, we've got a meeting with this. We're trying to get an answer, We did it. Okay. This meeting, they're not giving us answer. They put us on hold. Guys, it went on and on and on. You're like, well, gosh, how do you keep working it without pay? Well, you do what you can because you've racked up thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that you are expecting to get. And it's really, 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 really hard when you can't just get another job, lickety-split, to just walk away, potentially saying bye to all that income loss. Yeah, they say retrospect is 2020, but you know what? I'm still blind to any positive outcome. Well, if you had left, you would have been applying for other jobs. You would have got one faster. You probably would have been in better condition for 2018. Yes, possibly, but there's also the question of what the students that I served would have missed out on. So it's not to be questioned. But I went 6 months. I survived on tax refund and made ends meet with barely anything. And it was the hardest time ever. It was very insane. And 2018 was a crazy year. Family of 5. You see the 3 car seats. You might not be able to see all 3 of them. Family of 5. And our income for the year, we just did our taxes, was below the standard deduction. And I worked. All 12 months I worked. I worked all 12 months. And it's interesting. It's interesting. So eventually I got out, and now I'm a contractor again. For a reputable company, number 29 on the Forbes 100 best companies to work for. Number 29 this year. They're very proud of that. And I'm a contractor for that company. And hopefully I get a real job one day. But it has been an adventure. What do you do when you're betrayed? You forgive, you rationalize, you go through the stages of grief. And you maintain responsibility the best you possibly can. That's what I say. So, 2018 was the worst economic year of my adult life. But it helped put me in a frame of mind where I am dedicated to stability. And I am going to pursue that stability with integrity and ethic. Something that hasn't been granted to me. I haven't been a recipient of ethics and integrity, but I sure will feed as much ethics and integrity into the system as I possibly can. And you should too. That's the moral of the story.